I'm just checking all the goods here, making sure everything's working with the stream. Don't know why that's AirPlay, but I'm just checking all the goods here, making sure everything's working with the stream. That's AirPlay, but all right, we're just getting things going here. It's interesting how YouTube treats everything here. Just give me a few seconds. It's a quiet morning so far. We just had a few 737 takeoffs. We had one that was supposed to land a little bit earlier, but what I ended up hearing, or I guess what I ended up seeing, was that it was diverted to Moses Lake. We just had a few. And so, go ahead. Oh, that is a dark image. Let us fix that. That's a little better. Yeah, that's a little better. So I got a private 757 across the way. I can't see the registration from here, but that is new. That wasn't here a few days ago. It is a wonderful 60-ish degrees here at Boeing Field. Light overcast. Actually, if we go down towards Mount Rainier, there you can see Mount Rainier is kind of shrouded and some clouds down there. So we're expecting a full day of rain tomorrow. Figured I'd get out today. This would be the time to do it. I think we're going to have a decent amount of traffic while I'm here. I plan to stream for a few hours, really till the batteries run out, or I have to go somewhere else. But we'll see how that all pans out. And I'm hoping with the one diversion, we're probably going to find ourselves with one less 737 coming in. But the thing about Boeing Field that I always tell people is that you just never know what's coming in, because flight radar doesn't really show you everything that's departing or arriving into Boeing Field. It's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes Boeing planes will just pop up, and there are some that are actually scheduled. So it really just comes down to just luck. And so I figured, hey, why not? We got a little bit of luck hopefully today. We've had good weather here in Seattle for several days, and I guess that's probably the best thing that I can hope for, is that we've got we've got decent weather. And today, which is especially nice about this, and my friend Pip Hastings of Pip's Plane Spotting Live would say this is the kind of weather that he lives for. It's not it's just enough light and sun to be warm, but it's also it's not blasting down on you, and you get a light breeze. It's perfect. Now we just got to get some airplanes in here that are not just parked at the ramp. So just chat in the chat box if you got any questions about Boeing Field or what we expect to see today. There's quite a bit that I can see that's going on, but I just at this point, it's it's hit or miss. Like I said, the schedule is what it is, but then all these private planes will come and go as they please, of course. So we'll see. But it is a Monday. Over in the distance, we have a new set come in, and then usually some of those actually take off same night and then head out to wherever they're going. We do have an MD-11 grounded here after that crash in November of 2025 in Louisville. And so that plane is sitting beyond, you can't really see it, but between the two 767 tails off to the left here, it's peeking back behind the the rightmost tail of the 767. So it's parked over there, and you can view it if you're interested. If you live in the area, it's just right to the entrance of the UPS terminal. And also, what's really cool about it is that it has access from the terminal too, so you can just walk right over there and take pictures. They've got gates and everything. You're not getting anywhere close, and if you're trying to photograph it, it's a little bit of a challenge just because of the fencing. But if you can get your lens inside one of the openings on the chain link, then you'd be able to take some really good pictures of the MD-11. I've gotten some great photos of it and some great video of it. Don't know what's going to happen with it, unfortunately, but it's still there for us. Okay, let me see if I can get ATC on here. I know that our signal is working, so that's good. So, go ahead with it, unfortunately, but it's still there for us. Okay, let me see if I can get ATC on here. I know that our signal is working. Now we're doubling up audio here, so we're going to fix that. Hang on. So, go ahead. Okay, it's not going to let me do that. Fine, YouTube. Be that way. Be gone with you then. Do it the old-fashioned way. And let's get our ETC back up. Says it's still on. Guess we'll see in a second. It is quiet though. Definitely a quiet morning. This is the earliest I've been here actually live streaming, now that I think about it. So, unlike a traditional airport, like you've got SeaTac that's to the south of here. It's now they wanted to call it just Seattle International, not SeaTac, even though it's in the town of SeaTac. But they're just about 4 or 5 miles south of here. So it's northerly flow today. So the planes, by the time the planes actually get within a reasonable distance of us being able to see it with the camera, they're so high up already that this particular flow is not conducive for seeing SeaTac traffic. But you can, for sure, when they're landing, they're definitely a bit lower, and we won't have that today. But we will have, if there's any Boeing aircraft that are taking off, they will come right down this taxiway here and go right past us, and of course take off right in front of us as well. So we're going to just keep it going. And if you have any questions, I'm kind of not on YouTube, but let me see if I can get something going here so I can pull up my own stream.
On.
Oh, heard something there. Okay, well. See if we can do it this way, if it's not going to take over that way. Well. Mm-hmm. He just touched down. We have an interesting new airline here at Boeing Field that is called Seaport, and it specializes in just flights, mainly just flights to Portland, which for those of you who live in the area, you know, going to Seattle International is kind of an S show, and we don't like going there if we don't have to. But if we have the opportunity to come into Boeing Field, obviously there's a lot less traffic here. You can see it right now. But we'll definitely get some. This is the thing about plane spotting. Let's see.
At Boeing Tower, Bonanza 8636, Quebec, ILS 32 left.
Bonanza 8636, Quebec, Boeing Tower, wind calm, runway 32 left, clear to land.
32 left, clear to land, 36 Quebec.
Interesting. Huh.
Hold short, 22 left at Bravo 10, with Bellevue departure.
Sky 702, Boeing Tower, runway 32 left, clear for takeoff, Bellevue departure is approved, traffic 3 mile final, Bonanza.
Takeoff 22 left, with Sky 702.
Bonanza 36 Quebec, traffic departing, prior to arrival, Cessna.
36 Quebec.
Takeoff 22 left, with Sky 702.
Cessna.
Okay, we'll see if this one works. We're definitely having some connectivity issues, which is going to be solved very soon. Okay, we'll see if this one works. We're definitely having some connectivity issues, which is going to be solved very soon. Yes, I can hear myself. All right. We're going to keep testing this. We're actually streaming from a new device that I got that is going through my phone, which is not ideal as I'm learning. Unfortunately, the phone is just it's not able to handle what I'm trying to throw at it. So I'm keeping an eye on things, and hopefully we don't lose the stream again. I'm just going to keep restarting the stream if I have to. Doesn't make for the best content or fun for you guys, and I apologize for that, but it is what it is. Like I said, I do have a solution coming in for this that'll hopefully take care of this problem once and for all. And unfortunately, if you are chatting in the comment section. I apologize, but I don't have my devices hooked up for viewing comments at the moment. So you'll have to talk amongst yourselves. We got a aircraft coming in on 32 left. Little guy. Beach 535. Bonanza. Good old V-tail. Just saw something on flight radar that caught my interest. Oh, no, now it's gone. See what kind of arrivals we've got coming up here that are at least published. Looks like we've got a 737-8 MAX. Oh, now we got an aircraft on takeoff roll here. Seattle City skyline in the background there. All right, back to it. Yeah, so we got a 737-8 MAX that is scheduled for, well, 10 minutes. Not even 10 minutes, 8 minutes. And we've got another 737 scheduled, but it hasn't taken off yet from Moses Lake. So I don't know if that's going to pan out or not. They're actually going to leave. They were diverted to Moses Lake, so I'm guessing that maybe that's the same aircraft, but it's not even live yet. Welcome in on the channel. If you is your first time visiting, thank you for visiting. Really, this was kind of a pop-up stream. It was something that the weather was cooperating today before I had to go in for work later on. So I figured I'd come out to the airport. Really simple stream today, just a single camera. I've got a tiny little battery and enough juice, hopefully, to cover us until I got to get going. But it is kind of a interesting weather day here at Boeing Field. That you can see the skies are kind of blue, grayish. It's thin, wispy, high altitude, just a thin layer of clouds. Temperatures are in the low 60s right now, and it's generally just a good overall day to be plane spotting. Now, we can spot lots of planes parked here at Boeing Field, but we haven't seen a whole lot flying out of here, so we're just going to have to keep our eye out and hopefully catch some aircraft coming in. I know that we are expecting a 737 MAX 8 soon here. Here goes our ops beeps. And let's see. And again, if you're chiming in on the chat, unfortunately, I do not have a device that I can check in on chat right now. mainly because I'm using the exact same device to pull in air traffic control, which did turn off. Now we can put it back on. I'll go ahead and press that. I always wonder when we get these websites that say verifying that you are a human, what's going on there? How do they know? How do they not know? I always wondered that.
Two more, 7878, traffic over Maiden Bower Bay, northeastbound.
Okay, this thing just keeps disconnecting on me, but I'm going to keep going. I don't care. If you just want to keep tuning back in, that's cool. I apologize for that. This will get solved. I already know what I need to get this taken care of, because I can't stream like this. It's funny, the iPhone worked as a hotspot for the longest time, and then all of a sudden just decided it didn't want to cooperate anymore. So we're going to fix that, and streams should be more stable. These are the kinds of days, actually, where the north flow it's better to be at SeaTac or Seattle International.
4778, traffic's on the east side of the 520 bridge, northeastbound, no factor.
So we're looking off in the distance here at Mount Rainier, and
Boeing Tower, Coast Guard helicopter 6569.
that's where our 737 MAX will be coming from. I'm just going to have to keep an eye on this thing, make sure the stream doesn't disconnect, because it's just random.
65600, Boeing Tower, say request.
Boeing Tower, Coast Guard 6569, requesting to head into Harbor View.
One thing is for sure.
Transition is approved, landing at Harbor View.
We got a 737 on the taxi roll. Got some activity finally. Good.
6569, report landing assured.
6569, welcome.
Maybe about 100 feet away. Boy, we're not standing on the taxiway. We're standing on the ramp. We're in the non-movement area, but the center line for the taxiway to us it's about 100
Good more,
feet.
7878, wind 020 at 5, runway 32 right, clear to land. Clear to land, 32 right, more 7878.
And if you are chatting in the chat window, I don't know how many people are actually on at the moment. Thank you. I can't respond because I'm not looking at the chat. It's clear that even my iPhone has a problem with me sending 1080p 30 frames per second video to it. So it's I just decided to kind of consolidate and just run simple today. So if you're commenting, please be respectful. I'm not moderating right now. But if you have any questions, certainly after the live stream, you can drop them down in the comments field if you want, and I'll be happy to answer later. So this is a 737-8 MAX, United livery. So United does not operate flights out of Boeing Field. This plane is still in testing, but it has its full paint job. So what's nice of where we are, as you can see, there is no fence between us and the taxiway. Like I said, we're in the non-movement area of the ramp, so this is where aircraft will get pulled out of their parking spaces, their stalls, their hangars, whatever, and get pulled out to a spot where they can taxi out to the taxiway, and that whole short line is right there. So they'll just roll out right here. They'll wait, they'll call ground, and then they'll taxi out. So we can't go past that line, and honestly, I don't want to get anywhere close to that line because that could be dangerous.
Boeing 953, Boeing Tower, hold short, runway 32 left, waiting IFR release.
So you'll hear that quite a bit, the waiting IFR release here at Boeing Field. Seattle Tracon handles the IFR releases around here, and they obviously get very busy with Seattle International. So these guys, sometimes they have to wait. I've seen them wait as long as 10 minutes for an IFR release. Now, again, this goes back to what I was saying before, where there is unscheduled activity here at the field. So obviously they file a flight plan, but if they're filing it right now or right before they depart, the chances of them getting a slot in is it's sometimes can be hit or miss. Just depends on the amount of traffic in Seattle International. Got a little caravan here.
Boeing 953, Boeing Tower, traffic short final for the parallel runways of caravan. Wind 010 at 7, runway 32 left, clear for takeoff.
Okay, so takeoff runway 32 left, Boeing 953.
So that caravan belongs to a local airline, Kenmore Air, and they fly from Seattle, both here at Boeing Field and Lake Washington, as well as Lake Union in Seattle. So they have quite a float plane
turn right, your discretion,
fleet,
ground point
and then a fleet of caravans, and they usually fly up to the San Juan Islands and then Victoria. So if you're visiting Seattle for any length of time and you want to go visit either the San Juan Islands or Victoria, the Kenmore is kind of your way to go. There he goes. What's really interesting about the Max 8, and specifically the engine sounds or the noise, some people might call it, it's really not that bad compared to the original 737-100. Some pilots affectionately refer to them as the rope start engines.
Boeing 953, contact settle departure.
Those were very loud. They were also not high bypass turbofans, so that was part of the issue with them. A lot of power, but not a lot of efficiency, and really loud. I'm going to try and adjust here. So wonky. Just getting a little bit. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Now it's tilted the other way. All right. Well, we're going to play this game here. Sometimes tripods have way too many adjustments, and it actually makes them more of a challenge to balance out, especially when you have a ramp like we have here at Boeing Field that slopes. There's a drain. This is plane spotting, but there is a drain. Is that it right there? I can't see with the reflection. Yeah, there's a drain right there. And it has everything sloping down to it. And it's not an even slope, so it makes setting up a tripod kind of a pain in the butt. Yeah, we can get really cockeyed here. I have to keep playing with this. I'm hoping for a 777X today. I do not see any on the docket, but again, those kinds of things, unlike the Dreamlifter, which we can see up at Payne Field, that's scheduled. You'll see that all the time, but we don't have that here. The test flights happen when they happen, and they file when they file, and sometimes those don't even pop up on flight radar, which is kind of a drag. Let's see if flight radar is updated at all. Yep. See, so we were expecting a 737-8 Max at 10:55, and now it's been delayed to 11:35. See, these are the kinds of things that you just don't know. And the one that's coming from Moses Lake still has not departed, and it's supposed to arrive at 11:23. I don't think that's happening. We have a Gulfstream 600 coming in from Brussels. Wow. Okay. Yep. Somebody's starting up. Yep, I got the aircraft right over there. So like I said, we're about mid-field at Boeing Field here, and it's a good spot. It's a great spot, whether the aircraft are taking off or departing, mainly because they're still low enough when they're coming from the north. That's a southerly departure. And generally by the time that when they're taking off, they're rotating either right in front of us or very close. The only exception being the 777X, which usually rotates a little bit further down the runway, more over by the UPS aircraft over there. Okay, let's go back to, looks like the aircraft that's departing.
Guard 656 Boeing Tower departure from Harbor View. The pilot's on risk. Boeing altimeter is 2979 northbound. Transition is approved.
Just looking at the map here, the aircraft that's just overflying Boeing Field right now is already at 4,000 feet. So it's, you know, it's departing off of Seattle International. So it's like, yeah, that's not going to work. I do see another 737. This is a MAX 10. We got a MAX 10 coming now. Coming down the taxiway here. It's a little off in the distance, but we're going to catch this MAX 10 as it goes by and takes off. This is something we don't see a ton of. MAX 10 being the largest variant of the 737 MAX series. And probably, I don't know. It's just long. This is the plane, and you know, I've traveled enough in my lifetime to know that sitting in a single row aircraft for an international flight just seems like unjust punishment.
Coast Guard 6569, no traffic observed, free changes approved.
So,
6569, roger.
I don't wish that on anybody. Hell, when I used to fly from San Francisco to JFK
Seattle Center, Alaska, 929. We're with you, passenger.
in a 757, I dreaded that, especially if you were mid-plane where there's no lavatory, so you'd have to go all the way to the back or all the way to the front when they still had the ability to go and use the restrooms in the front. Okay, MAX 10 coming up here. If you're wondering how long we'll be streaming, honestly, it's probably going to be, well, like I said, at the very beginning of the first, no problem. Batteries, everything's looking good. Camera battery may need a little recharging, but we'll be able to fix that. Okay, MAX 10. United livery. That is a big 737. So preparing for delivery, just going out for some tests. We'll catch this aircraft when
Jet
it
City
is
689 Boeing Tower, wind 020 at 5, runway 32 left at Alpha 8, clear for takeoff.
okay. The other aircraft that was spooling up, there they are. They're taking off at Alpha 8, so it's an intersection departure. They don't need a lot of runways, you'll see. All right. Bye-bye. There you go.
Jet City 689, contact settle departure.
Archer, thanks. Jet City 689.
Boeing 103, Boeing Tower ready.
103.
Boeing 103, wind 020 at 4, runway 32 left, clear for takeoff.
Still see us, we're getting interrupted, so I apologize for that. Hopefully we will avoid any further streaming problems, but right now it says it's going, so. Okay, so here's our 737 MAX 10 United livery. This is going to be delivered, I'm assuming fairly soon if it's already painted. Probably just some. I need to talk to somebody who knows the whole process of once this is delivered from the factory and the final paint is applied, what's going on with these series of tests. All right, 737 MAX 10 on the takeoff roll from Boeing Field. Nice. Such a quiet aircraft in comparison, like I was saying, to the old 100s, even the 200s. Basically anything before the MAX series. Just, good engines, but just a little bit. These are so much more quiet. All right, let's see what else we got coming in here. Moses Lake is
contact settle departure.
Moses Lake is still scheduled. I don't see that happening in 20 minutes. There's no way they can get here. I mean, I guess they could, but I don't think they're going to be leaving Moses Lake anytime soon. The flight isn't even live. We have a MAX 9. That's an arrival. That's at 11:16, so that's coming up very soon. Which is good. What else we got coming up? Departures wise, let's see. Nothing really interesting, not until UPS leaves tonight, but that's we're gonna be long gone when that happens. As I've said a couple of times already on the stream, Unfortunately, I don't have a way to view the chat box, so you guys have to chat self-moderate. Just because I haven't set everything up exactly like I want it to, and it's clear that there is one missing link for me to be able to use my phone and use the Rodecaster and use the laptop and all that stuff all at the same time, and not have my signal drop like it has been dropping. So I'm going to take care of that, and by the next time we stream, whenever that may be, we'll have that hopefully rectified so that we are uninterrupted moving forward. Because nothing is worse than having to retune in, especially when a stream just ends suddenly. So I apologize for that. But this is what happens when you stream remotely with literally batteries for a power source and your phone as a mobile hotspot. Just a little info on what we're doing here. Today I decided to go with the simple stream mainly because I didn't want to bring all my equipment. And I also wanted to see how minimal we could make it and still be functional. And I think I went a little too minimal, if you know what I'm saying, because I can't view the chat and that kind of stuff. But we are broadcasting using a Sony FX30 with a
8636 Quebec Boeing Tower, green light departure is approved, wind 3604, runway 32 right, clear takeoff.
75 millimeter prime lens that we can stop down at f1.2, which is wonderful at nighttime, if you know what these technical terms are. So we have a fixed prime. I don't have a long zoom on this thing. I really don't need it all that much at Boeing Field because I'm right here. So I prefer the prime lens over a zoom lens, which can get a little fuzzy when you're all the way zoomed in. And we're broadcasting through video. It is basically a video switcher device that has built-in internet streaming, live streaming, so I can stream to YouTube. But it's clear. The device is great. It's got I've got a really nice headset that I finally got for the stream, which sounds a million times better than before. And it has video switching, so I can switch different scenes. I can pull up different videos. So, for instance, if I wanted to, I could, go to this. Yeah, something like that. I can switch to scenes if we've got a heavy flight coming in.
Here it comes! Get ready for the heavy!
So stuff like that. It's kind of cool. But what we're seeing is that trying to push through a little bit too much data for AT&T apparently. And so it's disconnecting every now and then. So anyway, I apologize for that. We're going to get that fixed up because I really want to be able to have a nice stable connection. The plan for the channel, just so you know, is really we're going to stick around in the Seattle area for most of the time. This is where I live, and it's the best. There's four respectable airports within an hour drive of each other. Boeing Field and Seattle International being the most prominent, but then Payne Field, where the main
current wind is 350 at 5, altimeter 2978.
Must be top of the hour. Yep, it is. We have Payne Field up north, where the Boeing heavy manufacturing plant is. So this is the 777X. There is the 787. Some of the actually a lot of the production of the 787 has been moved out of the Seattle area, but they're moving this. They're opening up. There's so many 737s on order that they're actually opening up a 737 line on the old 747 line in Everett. So I plan to get up there. Certainly when a Dreamlifter comes in or takes off, I'd love to be able to get that when We went up there back in January. That was really cool to see. But that's kind of like a once every now and then thing, and it's something where you Boeing Field is probably the furthest away, and every now and then we might make it up to Vancouver. Vancouver's a good 2-hour drive with the border crossing, but once you get to the airport, you can set up and you're right there on the field, and they've got a really cool observation deck. I don't know if anybody who's local, but we have also heard that they will be opening up an observation deck at Seattle International. Now, it also looks like it's going to be both an indoor and outdoor thing, which would be awesome, but I don't know what kind of expectations are of people who are live streaming. Seattle has what's called a visitor pass that allows you to get in past security without a boarding pass, which is cool. But the gray area comes in when you are streaming and potentially making money in that stream. They may want a permit, a commercial permit. I'm not really sure. They're gonna have to work it out, and we're gonna have to advocate for our side of things. But that observation deck is in a money spot, and it would be really cool to build a stream from there. I just don't know what they're gonna be doing with that, if anything. So we'll find out.
88 Delta, wind 350 at 6, runway 32 left at Alpha 7, clear for takeoff.
8 Delta, clear for takeoff, 32 left, Alpha 7.
Oh. So, right. Tiny little guy. I believe that's a Malibu. Yep, Malibu Mirage. Excuse me. What? Tiny little plane. It's hard to catch him. Yep, so that's our... Now, what do we have here? What do we have here? Huh. We've got another 737 MAX 8 that just turned on its transponder. Uh-oh, I see something else. Oh, yeah. 777, they're messing with us. They better not be messing with us, but I see a 777-9 just turned on its transponder. So we have ADSB.
Boeing 147 just outside Dwayne.
Yep.
Full stop, request high speed after landing.
Boeing 147, Boeing
Okay,
Tower,
so
runway 32 left, clear to land, wind
Boeing 147.
High speed is approved.
32 left, clear to land, high speed approved, Boeing 147.
Okay, so that's a 737-8. But, ladies and gentlemen, we may actually get a 777X flyby and takeoff here, so fingers crossed.
Mirage 88 Delta, contact shuttle departure.
88 Delta, going to departure.
Stream is holding steady, which is kind of crazy. Just gonna check here real quick. You may hear some echo. Okay, let's see. Okay, sorry, we lost you again. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we go.
476, Whiskey Golf, Boeing Tower, hold short, runway 32 left, just waiting IFR release.
So they will do... This happens very frequently at Boeing Field. They will actually... they'll land, they'll stop short, and then they'll do what's called a high speed down the runway, and they're just basically testing the
turn
brakes.
left, Bravo 1, join the Bravo taxiway, kind of ground point 9er.
Okay, 777X is it's back on. Yeah, it's got a ground speed of exactly 1 knot, and I do not see it coming out of the gate, but it's still possible. This would be ultra cool, as long as my stream doesn't die on me. So again, I super apologize for the streams just going wonky on us. I did not expect that. I think part of it has to do with when I start accessing things on YouTube on my phone, it starts to mess with the signal. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to touch. I'm not going to look at the comments or try and look at the comments. I'm just going to leave it. Thankfully, we're not a high-stakes channel, at least yet, so we can get away with these kinds of little snafus from time to time, although I'm not a big fan of it, especially when we have, like, something important that's coming in or departing. Make sure we still got our ETC on. You can see, in the grand scheme of things, this is the control tower for Boeing Field. Pretty small compared to the larger international airports, even though technically this is an international airport. I mean, we got a plane that's coming in from, where was it, Luxembourg? Brussels. Yeah. They're delayed, but they're supposed to be here in 30 minutes. Huh. Yep, well, that 777X still, yeah, it comes and goes on the screen, so I'm not really sure what's going on with it, but hopefully, as long as we can keep the stream going, we should be fine. I should be able to stream that for you. So, funny story. The other day, I was here at the airport, and it was a terrible day. It was in terms of being able to live stream. It was raining.
We're just waiting for release.
It actually was dumping rain, so it was not a good day to be streaming. But I was here working on some of the aircraft for the organization that I do some work for, some volunteer work for, and I got locked out of the hangar. Long story short, I ended up having to have airport ops unlock the door using a master key. But there's not a worse feeling than being locked out of where all your devices are, like everything. And the only saving thing that I had for me that day was that my phone, my laptop, everything was inside the hangar.
Y'all wind 350 at 3, runway 32 left and out 7, clear for takeoff.
So what was kind of comical about it was I used my watch. I was totally like a Dick Tracy episode. You know, it was like I used my watch to call airport ops. Actually, I take that back. To call the organization so they could call airport ops so that they could come out here and unlock the door for me. So what should have been like a 30-minute job coming out here and doing some stuff for the volunteer organization, I ended up, I don't know, I probably spent 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours here. Was not planned. And it was such a terrible day. But anyway, that's my story. But Boeing Field is, it's so interesting because it is the kind of airport it is. It's this, mixed use, right? So it has a huge commercial component because Boeing's delivery facility is here, but it also has a fairly large general aviation component and business aviation component. And of course, with UPS being terminal here, that it's
06 Whiskey Golf, contact
decent
zero
amount
departure.
of decent amount of cargo too. So it's just a really interesting mix. Whereas Seattle International is virtually all commercial airliner traffic. This is an interesting mixture. But as you can see, it's not 100% active all the time. So that's one of the reasons why the content on the channel, for the most part, has been kind of distilled videos where I just show a bunch of different aircraft takeoff and landing. Because if I'm sitting here out at the airport, like I'm doing right now, there's a lot of downtime between any activity. The only exception being the day of Seafair, where the Blue Angels are here, or the weekend of Seafair, where the Blue Angels are here. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is just a stream that I decided to do at the last minute, and it has had its fair share of technical challenges. But we are live, and when the stream drops out, we will reconnect and go live again. So if for some reason your stream drops, just refresh, and you should see a new version of today's stream just pop up and say live, and that's where we've moved to. As I've said earlier today, we're right underneath the flight path of the Seattle International departures and arrivals, I guess, for that matter. But on a North Flow day like today, the aircraft are already fairly high above us, so it's not even worth trying to get a shot of them. But like we just had a 737-900 just overfly the field at 3,000 feet, and unless you have a 600 millimeter lens, 75 millimeters, even with this particular type of camera, 75 millimeters, it only works out to 105. So you're not getting close enough to the aircraft to even get it in focus. But yeah, this would have been a day, in all honesty, this would have been probably a better day to go south of SeaTac and film all the aircraft, the incoming aircraft, but not going to be today. And looking at tomorrow's schedule, it looks like we're just going to be getting dumped on rain-wise, so I probably won't be out tomorrow. And also because of the streaming issues, that I just don't want to continue to struggle with the stream, trying to get various things working and then dropping out, working again. So we'll get that fixed, though. That's priority one, to get that fixed, and then yeah, we'll just keep it going. All right, let's see. Check my battery levels here. We are good at the moment. Things looking good. One of the nice things about streaming without a laptop is that you don't, like, just this Rodecaster does all my video capture for me. However, it's not the most stable connection. I don't know if it's because of the phone or if it's because of the not using a wired network. I'm not really sure, but that's going to change. If you're new to the stream and you're not familiar with Boeing Field is actually technically King County International Airport, KCIA. The letters for the airport, though, are KBFI, Kilo Bravo Foxtrot India, and it has a decent amount of general aviation, business aviation, and commercial aviation activity. You can see the airport is actually, you can see here, there's a hill here, and then just beyond these hangars here is another hill, which you probably can't see, but we're in a valley, and to the north, that's downtown Seattle there, and then all the way looking south, you can see the valley opens up, and off in the distance there is Mount Rainier. So we're in this valley that gets the nice thing about the valley is that the wind basically travels the direction of the runways. The runways are built in such a way that on most days the wind just gets channeled right through here. Whether it's coming from the north or the south, it just gets channeled. And so usually the winds are not too far. You're not usually dealing with crosswinds except in extreme weather circumstances here. This is a departure, I think. Go up. Yeah, I can't even get him. There he is. See, you can see how high the aircraft is. This guy just took off out of SeaTac. So anyway, that's kind of where we are. That aircraft, by the way, was 737-900 going from Seattle to Cincinnati, Alaska Airlines. Seattle to Cincinnati. I didn't know we went to Cincinnati, Alaska. Let's see, another aircraft has turned its transponder on. And I think I see it over there, but I don't know if they are going anywhere. That aircraft right there, right next to the UPS 767. We shall see. Let's see what else is coming in here. Coming into Boeing Field, what you got? Okay, so 737 MAX 9 coming in about 4 minutes, at least according to flight radar. Let us see where that aircraft is on the map. There's no way. This thing is heading away from... Yeah, I don't think so. They went all the way out to the coast. It looks like they're going out to Moses Lake. See, this is the thing about flight radar. It's just... Okay, so that's not happening. Don't have a Mac. What else do we have? Looking kind of dry here, folks. That's okay. Okay, so we're at 63 and cloudy. Winds are variable at 4 knots. Let's see if there's any other detailed information. Oh, yeah. What's the field elevation of Boeing Field? We are only at 21 feet. 21 feet above sea level. So, and that's evidenced by the fact that off in the distance there you can see the loading cranes. That is for the port of Seattle. So we're basically right there. And the way that this whole topography was formed was a series of both volcanic activity and glacier activity. And so these valleys and everything, they all, like the valley that's coming off of Mount Rainier, it's probably Mount Rainier had something to do with the valley that we're in right now. Or a glacier that has retreated since a long time ago. But where we are, the topography is such that you can be right at the edge of the water and be up 400 feet on a cliff, and then at the same time you go a couple of miles away and the land is now a beach and you're right at sea level. So very interesting. And it being the Pacific Northwest, it has Pacific Northwest type weather. A lot of people know Seattle for rain. My nickname, the name that I go by usually online when it comes to streaming, is the Rainy Cajun, because I'm from Louisiana, but I live in Seattle now. So Rainy Cajun is my moniker. And it does rain. It does rain a lot here. It rains more than I thought it would. Does snow here. And it can get the weather, especially in the springtime, can get really just crazy different. It's just wild. I think we had a water spout last week, crazy winds, and then it's been mild ever since then. And today,
and more 7878 Boeing Tower, wind to 360 at
it
5,
being
runway 32 right, clear takeoff, fly
64
straight out.
degrees and overcast, you would think it would be cold. It's not. I'm wearing shorts. It's great. Okay, here's another Kenmore. Caravan. And if I'm not responding to you in the chat, that's because I can't.
Approaching Vashon Heights Information
So
Whiskey.
I'm not looking at the chat right now. It seems like every time I go over to YouTube
Tower, find Vashon arrival for runway 32 left.
on my
Vashon
phone,
32 left, 33.
it kills the stream. So I'm gonna stop doing that so I can hopefully have a somewhat more consistent stream.
Tower, you just want to straight out.
Take that.
Sam 16, wind 360 at 5, runway 32 left at Alpha 7, clear for takeoff, fly straight out. Traffic off the parallel runway, Caravan is also straight out.
Oh, got another. What do we have here? He's not even showing up on flight radar. So when I first moved to the Seattle area, actually I had a stopover in San Francisco for about 8 years after leaving Louisiana. But when I first moved to the Seattle area, I flew a bit, and it was really cool because the FBO, the fixed base of operation here on the field, that you could rent airplanes from, had some really nice aircraft. They unfortunately have gone out of business, as a lot of FBOs do, especially when they have flight schools attached to them. But I got a really good experience being able to fly in the area and actually fly. I got a mountain checkout so I could go over the Cascades and everything. Man, it is really killer to fly here. The thing that you don't, growing up in Louisiana and having relatively flat topography to navigate around, I never really had to worry about the where am I going to land, because there was usually a field somewhere. But when you're crossing over the Cascade Mountains and you lose an engine in a single engine aircraft, your head better be on a swivel the whole time.
3.5 miles northwest bound towards Shilshow, 800 feet indicated, type unknown. Freak change is approved.
Got them inside the company float plane. 10 more, 7878.
10 more, 3333. Did you have a preference on runway you wanted? Negative, we could accept the short runway for
what a lot of people don't know about
3333, runway
Washington State, they all think it's like this because that's all they see. They see these lush green trees, this, everything just super green, evergreens and things like that. You get up over the Cascades, it turns into the high desert very quickly. And actually, from Washington State down through Oregon, it's just high desert. I guess if I were to kind of map it out, it probably goes all the way into California and Nevada. But the altitudes are way different. When I say high desert, I mean high desert. It's like you're up several thousand feet. Your airport is several thousand feet MSL. So it's just a different world over there. And aircraft performance and things like being able to deal with density, altitude are a big deal in the high desert, especially in the summertime. So aircraft performance is definitely affected. So it's just interesting. The density, altitude, not so much of a big deal here when you're down around, basically you're at sea level.
1016, for exchange is approved. No, thanks for your help today. And, have a good day.
Here it is what it is. It's pretty easy to fly around here, except in the wintertime. The wintertime is like, my God, it is. It's pretty dead. It's pretty dead, with the exception of the commercial activity. There's not a whole lot of general aviation activity. I suspect this is, what are we at, April 20th right now? Oh, yeah, of course, 420. That's another big thing that's being celebrated up here in the Seattle area. But If you don't know, don't worry about it. But basically, there is not a lot of activity until probably, gosh, I want to say June, probably June, maybe even July. They say summer doesn't start here until July, basically July 5th, and I would concur with that. All right, we've got Caravan here on final. This is also Kenmore Air. If you've now, like I mentioned earlier, Kenmore Air has a pretty decent sized fleet of float planes. As a matter of fact, I think they still do this. If you have your private pilot's license and you want to get your float plane rating, you can do it through Kenmore Air. That's usually about 10 hours of flying and a checkout.
Turn right Alpha 2,
Now, this is interesting. We have a black Suburban that just pulled up to the 757 over here. I wonder what that's about. Anyway, and I see something on top of the 757 that's not normally there, so I'm wondering what that is. Yeah, it could be just a charter. In any case, so they've got this fleet of float planes, and like I was saying, they do training on them. But what's really interesting as a passenger for being on a float plane is that you see like the pilots when they're landing. Well, first of all, it's usually one pilot flying. There's not two, and I'm guessing that's for weight issues. But the pilot will literally jump out of the airplane while it's still in motion, coming up to the dock, and then tie the thing down. And it just boggles my mind. The plane is moving. There are passengers in it. No, it's not going that fast, but it's still moving, and he or she has to jump off of the airplane. Usually they stand on the floats, then they jump off the floats onto the dock, and then they tie down the plane so people can get on and off. And it's a very quick process. It's maybe 5 minutes total for the people to get off. I mean, it's a small plane anyway, but it's just kind of crazy to me that that's how these pilots that they're expected to do that. That's part of their job, is that they have to, when they go land at these places that have essentially docks that you float up to, it's their job to get out, secure the airplane, and make sure it doesn't keep going further, rather than having somebody there at the dock waiting for them. I mean, I guess that would be fun. It just seems like it could, if you slip one day, you just slip, you jump on the dock and you slip, then your plane just keeps going. And is there a way you can get it? I don't know. Stream's still going here, so I'm not going to touch YouTube. And so if anybody's watching and commenting, I am super sorry that I'm not responding to you. I just don't want to mess up my stream right now. And
262 Tango Mike, Boeing Tower. Fly back on arrival for runway 32 left, verify whiskey.
On arrival for 32 left, we have whiskey.
we have somebody on final. Or maybe? No. Okay, stand by. I'll be right back. All right, now I'm back. That was the Suburban that was by before.
There's 2 Tango Mike, need you out or below 1,000.
2 Tango Mike will be well below the Bravo at 1,000.
All right, let's take a look here. Nothing on the map. At
There's
all.
2 Tango Mike, say parking.
Northeast, 2 Tango Mike.
There's 2 Tango Mike, wind at 290 at 6, runway 32 right, clear to land.
32 right, clear to land, 2 Tango Mike.
So we've got somebody coming in on 32 right. And that 777X is messing with us. No longer on the map.
Two, so at the Bellevue, get down to the full stop.
If you guys have flight radar, you can pull up the map and see basically the exact same thing I'm looking at. Looks to me like I've got a Gulfstream 280, which I see over there. Just kind of hanging out, but it's had its transponder on for some time now, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. And then, let's see, looking. I know somebody who lives in Tucson. Oh, there's our SR-22. SR-22 is a Cirrus aircraft in general. They're just really nice aircraft. I've only flown in 2, and I was very impressed. Then this is before even the Cessna's got like the glass cockpits. It's
Tango Mike, turn right at the end, ground point 9, good day.
It's really interesting to see how much easier it is to fly as a general aviation pilot these days. Because when I was your age, when I was learning how to fly, it was all what they call steam gauges, so everything was analog, very little digital. And nowadays, you just need to know how to turn the dials and get the settings that you want for the flight computers, and away you go. You can fly instrument approaches, or you can have the aircraft fly the instrument approach. And now if you have there's I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they now have incapacitated pilot emergency landings where the aircraft handles everything, makes the calls and everything like that. Says basically finds the nearest airport that they can support the aircraft, and it then will essentially fly the approach to landing, and then stop the airplane on the runway and notify emergency services. It'll make all the calls on the radio. It's basically everything, and it's already been in use.
Hello, Tower Selection 655.
It's been in use for I guess about 9 months now, but it's been used a couple of times, at least as far as I've seen. So that's that's going to be on a lot of general aviation aircraft moving forward, especially single pilot aircraft.
Selection 655, Boeing Tower, wind 3006, runway 32 left, clear to land.
32 left, clear to land, Flexion 655.
Selection 655,
that's
traffic to the right downwind for the little runway Cessna.
655, roger.
Finish guys, 702, traffic.
Yep, this
6
is our
for the big runways, a Gulfstream 6.
This is our we have a G650 ER, and it is very much ER because it's coming from Brussels. Brussels, Belgium, It departed, this flight that's coming in departed 9.5 hours ago.
They're right downwind about midfield.
And
655, Roger. We're looking.
well, yep, they're about turning final here pretty soon, so we'll get this. But yeah, it's you know, it's nothing fancy. It's a 650 ER, but I mean, it came all the way from Europe 9 hours ago. People are going to want to get off that airplane, that's for sure. Got some more activity on the airport here, so let's pull this aircraft up again. Okay, they are roughly, I want to say 10 miles out at this point. 1,800 feet, ground speed of 145 knots. So we'll go ahead and turn our attention over there. At some point, we should see the landing lights. I just got a stream interrupted, so not really sure what that's about. My eyes do not see this aircraft yet, but I'm sure, just judging by flight radar, they're out there. Oh, I got it. Got a visual.
Well, 655, that's traffic down on the right base now for the low runway, heading to your right.
Oh, yeah, I think we see them now. Reflection 655, Roger.
So I wonder who's on that airplane. What do you think? Somebody coming from Brussels, coming to sell us chocolate? Or something else? I wonder. Heck of a flight, though. All right, G650 ER. From Brussels, Belgium.
Radar Sky 702, turn right, Alpha 3, ground point, niner, good day. Push at 655, then request flight conditions on final.
Oh, we were stable on final, so 655, nothing to report.
Push at 655, thanks, turn right, Alpha 5, cross runway 32 right, then contact ground point niner.
Okay, Alpha.
All right, so they're going to parking.
Push at
Off at Alpha
655,
5.
cross runway 32 right, then ground point niner, thanks.
We have a fairly simple taxiway system here. Nothing like JFK or what is it? O'Hare. Nothing like that. It's pretty straightforward here.
TBM 132, Boeing Tower, change by frequency 120.6.
All right, what's showing up on radar now? Okay, we've got, looks like taxiing for takeoff as a Bombardier Challenger 300.
TBM 132, there's going to be a 3-minute delay wake turbulence for that Challenger at Alpha Niner. I'm going to have you rejoin the Alpha and then continue down to Alpha Niner. Hold short, runway 32 left at Alpha Niner. TBM 132, that's approved as requested, and then you can proceed to Alpha. Thanks.
All right. so this Challenger 300 is going to Portland. Don't know what's going on with them at the moment, but
Iconic 541 Boeing Towers, still just awaiting I-5 release.
that's our neighbor just went by there. He owns a Hughes 500, the helicopter, a good old Magnum PI. He also has a Cirrus SR22 that is hot green neon. One of these days I'll catch a flight with him. All right, so that's waiting on the Challenger to do its thing. Yeah, 777X continues to mess with us. I don't see it on
Iconic 541,
flight radar anymore. So,
left, Alpha 9, close takeoff.
but you know what? We're here for the long haul. So if it shows up, gotta grab some battery juice here. Well, hang on one second.
Boeing Tower, good morning, November 7 to 1 November, visual 3 to left.
November 7 to 1 November, Boeing Tower, wind 3107, runway 32 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 32 left, November 7 to 1 November.
Iconic 541, contact Seattle departure, have a great flight.
Departure, Iconic 541.
All right, that's better. Sorry, I missed the Challenger takeoff, but I noticed that my camera battery was a little bit drained, and I didn't want it just dropping out on us when everything else is doing just fine. So, decided to get another battery, just hook it up, hook up a battery to the battery. Go figure.
Gulfstream 21 November, caution for a large bird circling ahead and to your left, and it appears to be slightly lower than your current altitude.
Okay, Cobra
Large
7
bird.
1 November.
Okay. There is a decent amount of bird activity. We don't have like they have in Dallas with the coyotes.
The bird appears to be
We don't have
just
that.
south of the field, then
But we do
west
have
side.
our fair share of bird
Okay,
activity.
still looking. Do you know approximate altitude?
Gulfstream 21 November, it's approximately your altitude right now, maybe slightly higher.
Okay, copy 7 to 1 November.
All right, what do we got coming in here? This is a G700? It is.
CBM 132, runway 32 left, Alpha Niner. Line up and wait. No traffic currently on
Oh, these are our neighbors. These, when I say they're our neighbors, they're parked at the hangar immediately to the south of us,
And contact ground point enter.
which will be to our right today. And
Closer 2-1 November,
so
sorry about that. Turn left Bravo 4. Join the Bravo ground point enter.
yeah, so he's turning left at Bravo, and he will taxi right past us. This aircraft in particular is fairly active. I'd love to know what they do. Probably should do some research on it, but I have not looked into it.
CBN 1321310 at 7 runway 32 left. Alpha Niner, clear for takeoff.
It's G700s. Love this plane. Oh, he's already higher than up there. Way up there. Okay.
Boeing Field, that is information X-ray now, current.
Information X-ray current. We're at it again. I don't know when the stream died, but we got this Gulfstream 700 just parked next door. And we are not gonna, I'm not gonna let this deter me. I know exactly what I need to do to fix it, but it's just kind of frustrating right now. So I apologize. And I also apologize for the fact that I'm not responding to anybody on chat. So if anybody is checking in, yeah, I'm not looking at the chat right now because it seems to mess with the internet connection to this very, very fragile iPhone 14 that I'm using for my hotspot. Normally, we would use a dedicated hotspot.
Tower, Boeing 241 is 4 miles to Dwayne for full stop, 32 left, request high speed.
Okay.
Boeing 241, Boeing Tower,
Boeing 241.
7 runway 32 left. Clear to land, high speed taxi approved.
Okay,
Clear to
so
land, high speed approved, Boeing 241, thanks.
so what Boeing 241 just said was, you know, I'm on approach for 32 left, requesting high speed. So they're going to do exactly what was done before. They're going to land, slam on the brakes, and then come to a full stop. And then what they'll do after that is they will give it full throttle again, taxi, I don't know, a couple thousand feet, and then slam on the brakes again. So this is kind of a brake test. I believe that's what it is. If it's not, leave your comments in the chat and let me know what you think it is, because it looks to me very much like it is a systems test when it comes to determining whether or not the aircraft can brake in a sufficient period or space of time. All right, so I've got aircraft on final. It's a bit out there, just to the left of the peak of Mount Rainier. And so what we got coming here, this is 737 MAX 8. This is in Aeromexico livery. So before I started the stream, actually this aircraft was departing.
262, take a Mike, Boeing Tower, hold short, runway 32 left at Alpha 7, landing traffic.
And what was really cool about it is when they departed, it was, you know, just kind of getting things set up. So I did a test run with them, you know, as far as like filming and everything looked good. But this is the new Aeromexico livery, so you should check it out. If you go to Flight Radar, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. At 1,000 feet, ground speed's 130 knots. Just about a mile out, short final at this point. Again, Aeromexico 737 MAX 8 touching down here at Boeing Field. And like I said, they're going to put on the brakes hardcore here. A little bit of a pause. Let the engine spool down. Spool up again. Like they're taking off. There you go.
Boeing 241, turn left, Bravo 1, join the Bravo taxiway, ground point 9er, good day.
Roger, all the way to the end and point 9 or Boeing 241, thanks, have a great day.
Okay, so there you go. That's how they do it around here. Go back to our center point here. See what else we got maybe coming in. All right, what other arrivals we have? So we are looking at another 737-8, but that's not for another hour and a half. That's about the time we'll be wrapping up, I'm supposing.
Boeing Tower, Team Number 78711 is North Vashon with X-ray Vashon arrival.
There's 2, take a Mike, wind to 310 at 6, runway 32 left, Alpha 7, cliff take off, Lake departure is approved. Traffic north tip of Vashon, inbound Cessna, traffic on a 6.5 mile funnel inbound Gulfstream.
So you just heard aircraft calling in, I believe it was a Cirrus.
78711, Boeing Tower traffic departing now, Cirrus for the Lake departure.
They're doing what's called a Vashon arrival. Vashon is an island, and there's a there's a flow because of the proximity to Seattle International. We tend to, as VFR pilots, we tend to have to follow a published route or a semi-published. I mean, it's published, but it's like you follow it as much as you need to follow as a VFR pilot. But the critical components are the altitudes, standard, the class Bravo airspace, which is like an upside down wedding cake that focuses on Seattle International.
Good morning, Flight 724 Kilo, Papa 3000 visual.
And so we,
November 724 Kilo, Papa Flight Tower number 2, following
as pilots, we fly these Bellevue arrivals, Bellevue departures, Vashon arrivals, Vashon departures, that kind of stuff. And that just it's kind of this local terms. Vashon is an island, Bellevue is a city. And then that's how we tend to fly things here as VFR pilots. But obviously, when you're under instruments, it's a different situation altogether. So this person's flying Vashon, which means they're coming from the west. And it's really interesting. I wish I could show you, but I can't. At some point, I'll do it. But behind us is is another hill that's about the same size as this hill up here, and the hill itself, you have to stay just maybe 200 feet over treetop level to stay underneath the Class Bravo airspace, And that's, you know, as somebody who would live in that airspace, I just, that would kind of freak me out. I mean, you pass over a water tower, and it's just like, man, you are right there. You can read the lettering on the water tower. That's how close you are. But once you get out over the water, heading west away from Seattle and Puget Sound, you can pop up, get to higher altitudes. But when you're around here and you're in the flight path of all the Seattle international traffic, you are definitely having to keep underneath that Class Bravo. Got another aircraft on approach here.
Taking November 711, Sears, pass off your left down, no
Gulfstream
factor.
280.
Copy 71 and Tower 71, 2.5 miles to the west.
Taking November 711. Hit you on the downwind, keep it in close side to the field, pattern altitude 700 feet. I'll call your base turn. Traffic on a 3 mile follow from Pilatus to Portland, like you follow.
Looking for traffic, and we'll keep it tight, 71.
Taking November 4 kilo Papa traffic, entering the left downwind to follow you 7.
4 kilo Papa, roger.
There's 2 Tango Mike in that Cessna traffic. Inbound is well behind you now, no facts.
2 Tango Mike,
Oh.
today.
The neon green SR-22 I was talking about.
Runway 32 right, then contact ground point
I guess it's neon yellow. There he is.
There's 2 Tango Mike, did you want to pick up flight 4?
It's a cool looking plane. I swear, I gotta convince this guy to let me take him up in an SR-22. If you've never flown an SR-22, it's a pretty cool aircraft. Anyway, he's in technically the non-movement area where I am. All right, I just got checked for my ID, which is important. They should be doing that.
Okay, Tower 71 has Pilatus in sight.
Taking November 711, number 2 following that Pilatus runway 32 left. Clear to land.
Clear, number 2 behind the Pilatus, 711.
All right, we got another couple aircraft here. And we got a Pilatus here. This is one of the Seaport Pilatus aircraft. They're all silver, which is a very interesting color choice. Given that we have gray skies here quite a bit, to choose a gray paint job is an interesting choice.
Taking November 4 kilo Papa, turn right out to 7 and contact ground point there.
All right. What else we got coming in here? Okay, so the Aero Mexico shut down. That the transponder's still on. Let's see what else we got going on here.
Taking November 711, turn right Alpha 8, ground point 9, good day.
All right, well, we're live again. It looks like we're on some kind of weird 30-minute timeout or something like that. Super frustrating. Again, I apologize, and this won't happen after this stream. As a matter of fact, when I get in the car to head out, I'm going to order what I need to order and be done with this nonsense. Anyway, I'm kind of curious though. The audio quality, how does that sound as far as like air traffic control, the mixture of the aircraft sounds? For those of you who have been watching for a little while, kind of curious. I just want to get your feedback on it. Of course, I can watch it later, but leave it in the comment section below. I'm not going to touch the live streams in terms of any kind of comments that come through. So if you have specific comments at certain time points, just let me know, and I'll be happy to see if I can address those somehow.
This 8 Delta X-ray, thanks. Did you want to pick up flight 4?
Negative, thanks. Just going for the coma.
This 8 Delta X-ray, free changes, proof. Have a great flight.
Thank you.
I'd say the wind's picked up a little bit beyond 6 knots at this point, but yeah, when I look at the SeaTac traffic,
Boeing
it's
Tower,
just
iconic.
insane.
141 on final for 32 left.
Tell you what, next time I see a north flow like this, I will
Iconic
go out to
141,
SeaTac, and I'm going to do the exact same thing I'm doing right now, except I'm just going to do it from that spot that I've recorded from in the past.
141.
And
Finish, guys, 706.
I
Plan
think
minimum
we'll
time on the
roll with
runway
that.
for traffic close and trail.
Copy that. We'll try to get Bravo 7 right near Sky 706.
it's minimal in terms of the what it, what we can show. It's basically landing traffic, but I think it's going to be when we have these north flows, and north flows typically happen. I want to say the majority of it happens in spring through early fall. You'll get north flows, but you'll still get southerly flows. It really just depends. So I'm pretty sure that SeaTac controls that. It is a quiet Monday here at the field, though. I'm really surprised. I thought that there would be a lot more activity, but that doesn't seem to be
Phoenix,
the
guys,
case.
706, turn left, Bravo 7, ground point enter.
Oh, we got somebody that is on final. What do we got coming in here? Gulfstream G450 from Dulles. $750 feet, 725, 130 knots. There are G450 from Dulles.
Iconic 14110 left, or correction, turn right, Alpha 3, cross runway 32 right, and contact ground point enter.
All right. So that wasn't on the schedule. It just showed up. So when looking at flight radar, I guess here looking at flight radar, just don't, because it doesn't matter. some of the things are accurate and most of them are woefully inaccurate. I don't think this has anything to do with flight radar. I really believe this is just what the schedules are that are published versus what actually happens. And when you have an airport like Boeing Field, where there's so many test flights and things might be impromptu or the last minute, or we get some government flights that don't want to be published. They will not show up. Just the other day, we had a Omega tanker here. This was the day that I was in when it was kind of crappy weather, and that's an old 707 that was parked across the way, basically where that 757 is parked right now. And then directly across from it was a C-130. So I don't know what was going on there, other than definitely some military operations going. But Omega is the only private tanker service that is licensed, I guess, in the U.S. I forget exactly what they said, but yeah. So they were there, and then they were gone. Now they're gone. It would have been really cool to catch a 707 on departure, but I had no idea when they were leaving because it's not published. This is kind of the weird thing about being here in Boeing Field. All right, so this is Seaport, Silver, PC-12. Such as their color scheme.
Upstream A4 Charlie Whiskey, Boeing Tower, wind 310 at 8, runway 32 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 32 left, 4 Charlie Whiskey.
November 725, Kilo Pop, Boeing Tower, runway 32 left, Alpha 7, clear for takeoff, wind 310 at 8.
All right, there goes our Seaport.
November 5, Kilo Pop, traffic, 7 mile final, 11 miles Gulf.
I think I have to volunteer to put a ADS-B receiver here at the field because I'm not seeing a lot of stuff that I should be seeing on the ground. There they go. Seaport PC-12.
Boeing Tower, Angel Flight 7661 is currently 8 miles to the west of Vashon for the Vashon arrival with X-ray.
Angel Flight 7661, Boeing Tower, flight to Vashon arrival, runway 32 left. Report 2 miles west.
Okay, we'll report 2 miles west. We'll plan the visual to 32 left off the Vashon arrival, Angel Flight 7661.
Angel Flight 7661, what's your type of aircraft?
It's a Cessna 206.
Take November 5, Kilo Pop, contact the other departure, have a great flight.
Have a great day, November 5, Kilo Pop.
Yeah, we definitely need to get an ADS-B here because the ground ops here are kind of spotty at best, and that's super frustrating for somebody like me who's trying to stream from here, and it's like, the plane was there, and now it's gone. So, all right, what do we got here? If you're just joining us, welcome to the channel. This is Geaux Flying. I am your host. My name is Jeremy, aka the Rainy Cajun, as I go by on all the other live streaming channels for aviation, plane spotting. We're here at Boeing Field. It is mid-60s. It is a slight wind that's variable from all kinds of different directions. We have a thin overcast layer, which is providing a nice little shield from the sun. It's actually a great day to be plane spotting. It would be greater if we had more aircraft that were active on the ground, but we don't.
233 November, Boeing Tower, hold position right there.
But we don't have that. So what we do have is a bunch of business aircraft coming in. And so yeah, we're just kind of hanging out, trying some different stuff. I'm noticing that our
Charlie Whiskey, turn right Alpha 5, cross runway 32 right.
streaming abilities are somewhat limited by the device. Okay, so we're back again, and this is yet another thing. So just adding to my source of frustration, and I apologize to all of you who have stuck with it and have not been able to see a constant stream. This is not something that I was thinking was going to happen with just one device connected to the hotspot, but I think there's something else going on, and that's okay. We'll fix it. But this is this gives us where we are right now at Boeing Field. Gives us an opportunity to kind of practice some things a little bit before we end up at Seattle International, or if we're at Payne Field or Vancouver, or even at Renton. Renton's just, literally, it's over that side of the hill there. I drove through to get from where I was earlier to Boeing Field. I drove right past the Renton Boeing facility and got an opportunity to see several 737s on train cars, just kind of sitting there. Had their protective green coating on them, and at some point I'll want to stream from there when I know that there's going to be significant activity. I'm guessing it's going to be certain days of the week. We'll get there. We'll certainly get there. But in the meantime, I'm just happy you're here. Aero Mexico, they're just sitting there. Interesting. I don't think they're going out again, though. It is currently 12:35 Pacific time. So that, depending upon where you are in the world, this is what is this? Monday the 20th, 4:20. Which has some significance for Washington, Oregon, and California residents, and some other states in the Union. I'll leave it at that. Trying to keep it a little bit of a family show, but there is today is kind of one of those days where people usually call out from work because they have other priorities.
Angel Flight 76. Sorry if I
Angel Flight 7661, turn right, Alpha 10, and ground point enter, get it.
ground thing.
I'm sorry, it's Alpha 7, Alpha 8.
So we're just keeping an eye on things right now. So if you're wondering, okay, what am I streaming? Why am I streaming? Really, it's kind of pushing the boundaries of what the equipment can do. I'm just trying to test out what's possible with the equipment that I have, and then what kinds of things I need to change. Clearly, my internet connectivity is suffering from whatever issues it's suffering from. So we're going to change that. That's going to be first and foremost. But I'm running off of a Rodecaster Video S as my primary streaming device at the moment. At some point, I will switch over to our Mac and then be able to do things like overlays and respond to comments. I can't see your comments right now, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, respond to your comments and then also be able to add overlays and all kinds of other fun stuff. Just can't do that at the moment with the Rodecaster. The Rodecaster has some really cool features, but it also has some limitations as far as what you can do dynamically. But if you could, see what my setup is right now, you'd realize it's like, wow, it's pretty minimal. It really is. But it's working. For the most part, it's working. The only thing that's kind of bugging me is the internet connectivity. So if you have comments, just leave them in the chat box. I'll look at them later. You can also leave them in the comment section. Of course, I don't expect this to be perfect at this point in time because of all the little various technicalities that we're working through. But at some point, when we're ready to take the show on the road, I'm hoping that the 100 or so subscribers that we have to the channel will stick around and get a chance to be part of the channel as we grow, because there's a lot more growth that can happen. The Seattle still remains a very active aviation hub, and SeaTac, which is again Seattle International, remains a very or is now probably a more integral part of that than ever before. So I truly believe that with the amount of money that has moved into the area over the past 10 years, you're going to see some true investment in aviation here. I don't what's on the, okay, that's still the Aeromexico plane. Yeah, we're just going to continue to keep an eye on things. I'm a little bit bummed that the streams are timing out after 30 minutes. I'm not really sure what's causing that. That's a source of frustration. I think part of it may be AT&T, who's my provider. They're probably capping something at some point, because it's at set intervals. It's almost exactly at 30 minutes, or really close to 30 minutes. So, and I'm at 6 minutes and 30 seconds on this stream, so we'll see. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Yep, the wind has definitely picked up. It's now a very constant. I would say, it's, it's probably close to it. Right now they're saying variable at 6 knots. I feel like it's more like a constant 10 at this point. Could be wrong. Let's see. They say variable at 8 knots. No, 6 knots. No, it's not 6. It's more than 6 knots. One of the things I want to capture as part of the stream, and it's not so uncommon being here in the Alaska hub, is the 787 with the new Aurora livery. There are a few of those 787s now, and I've seen them multiple times at this point. They're basically 787s, but I'd be curious to get people's opinion on what do they think of the new livery? The getting away from Hawaiian and Alaskan and just kind of this blue green color scheme. I personally like it. It's kind of indicative of the Northwest in terms of the color palettes, but it's it's also it wipes out the signature logo of Alaska, which is the Eskimo, and then Hawaiian as well. So I'm kind of curious to get people's thoughts on that. Like, what do you think? Do you think it's appropriate? Do you think it's not appropriate? I mean, do you think having the historical characters that have been on the aircraft tails for so long, removing those and just going in favor of a generic color scheme, is that the right way to go? I'd be really curious to get people's opinions on that, because at the end of the day, does it really affect your experience with the airline what they paint the planes as? We all love seeing, like, for instance, ANA with the R2D2 ANA 787 and then the Pikachu 787. Those are all cute planes to be able to fly on, and the Pikachu one, I believe, has some Pokemon stuff inside the airplane to make it even more themed. But I mean, does it really affect your flight experience overall? Does it make a difference? Does it really make a difference what the plane is painted? And does it impact your choice of what aircraft? If you like an airline or don't like an airline, does it impact your choice of an airline? And then if it doesn't, then what does it do in terms of impacting your choice for a specific flight? Right? Like, if you know that if you fly this flight, assuming things don't get canceled for whatever reason, you're going to be on the Pikachu 787, or you're going to be on Texas 1 if you're flying on Southwest. Does that really influence your decision whether or not you're going to fly that flight or not? A lot of times we don't have a choice. We're just booking. For me personally, we're just booking because we need to get somewhere. We don't care what the way the plane is painted necessarily. It's awesome if it's something that is unexpected, but otherwise it's like, it's just another aircraft. And at the end of the day, it is, no matter what, just another aircraft. The way it's painted has really nothing to do with whether or not you're going to get to your destination. So it is quiet time here at Boeing Field, apparently. And I can keep talking forever. I don't know if I want to keep talking forever.
Premier Sky 702, hold code runway 32 left.
We have some activity.
Premier Sky 702, Boeing Tower, wind 3108, runway 32 left, full length, clear for takeoff on the right crosswind towards the north tip of Mercer Island.
Clear to takeoff, north tip of Mercer Island. 32 left.
The wind has picked up. Flying right above us. I don't know if I can get it or not. No, doesn't look like I can. I do declare. There we go. Challenger looks like a 3500.
Air Sky 702, and just for future reference, if you want that early turn before the end of the little runway, you need to let us know in case we got traffic over there.
Roger that, Air Sky 702, sorry about that.
So this is going to PJ, Papa Golf Alpha? And I'm guessing he's going to take off, he's going to do an intersection departure here.
Air Sky 702, free exchange rent is approved. Have a great flight.
Safe through there, Air Sky 702.
No. Looks like they may be going full length, which is interesting.
ZJS 750, Boeing Tower, you up and right? ZJS 750, went 320 at 8, runway 32 left, Alpha 9er, so takeoff.
All right, so clear for takeoff at Alpha 9er. Net jets. Be curious to know how many people have actually used net jets. Not saying anything bad or at all. I've never used them. Kind of want to. Here they go. Challenger 3500. Page Airport.
Boeing Field Tower, citation Charlie Golf November Delta Hotel, visual approach, runway 32 left.
Citation Charlie Golf November Delta Hotel, Boeing Tower, wind 3206, runway 32 left, clear to land.
Runway 32 left, clear to land, November Delta Hotel.
All right, we got a citation on
ZJS
final
750,
for
contact
32
Seattle
left.
departure, have a great flight.
Departure 766 Jet 750.
From Abbotsford, up north. Our Canucks up north. Okay, hang tight, folks. We're going to catch this citation on its way in.
Q1 7878 Boeing Tower, traffic over Green Lake southbound, 510, 900 feet indicated. Traffic about a mile and a half south of Green Lake headed towards UW, 701, 1,500 feet indicated. Green Lake arrival, runway 32 right, report to be in the ballpark.
Green Lake arrival, report to be in the ballpark, and looking for all the traffic, Q1 7878.
Q1 7878, the 900 foot target, looks like they're headed towards like Elliott Bay now. Should be no factor for you. The other one is 1 o'clock in 2.5 miles. Looks like they're headed towards the 520 bridge, 1,500.
Right to the right, and straight ahead, we don't have it.
More 7878, and that target's now 1 o'clock and 1.5 miles. Continuing eastbound, 1,300 feet indicated.
All right. So I got the citation on final
you can
here.
maneuver just past behind him.
And let's see here. What else we got? It's looking like it at the moment. That's the thing about, again, about Boeing Field is that sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's going to be really interesting stuff, and sometimes it's not so much. But
Wind 3008.
all right. Pretty quiet. Pretty quiet.
Charlie Golf, November Delta Hotel, turn right, Alpha 5, or Alpha 3, cross runway 32 right, then contact ground point center.
All right, so I'm seeing something here that I don't normally see.
Tower 202 Alpha Bravo is on final.
And this is
on,
generally an indicator that something is happening with a larger Boeing test aircraft. And that is
Caravan 1,400 feet indicated. Wind 3008, runway 32 left, clear to land.
The ARF, basically the fire department, comes out. And they usually come out when the test aircraft come out. Now, this one doesn't appear to be the Boeing one. This might be on field.
Clear to land, 32 right, Kipmore 7878.
But they do come out. So that's King County. That's not the Boeing one. The Boeing typically is red. Okay. Let's see. Got going on here.
Boeing Tower, November 77 Whiskey Sierra, holding short at Alpha 7 VFR to Bremerton, ready for the Blake departure.
So, Bremerton, where that aircraft is called from.
I'm sorry, for Blake, say again.
They're all
off
Blake to the west.
That's November 77 Whiskey Sierra,
Bremerton,
holding short at Alpha 7. Ready.
Bremerton is an airport that is used for instrument approach practice quite a bit. It is also home to a naval base. So that outbound aircraft is a Challenger 604. Gotta love when flight radar says departure not available. Arrival airport not available.
Citation 2 Alpha Bravo, that previous call Caravan. They're on right base, head to your right for the lower hour.
Touch up, bro.
K1 7878 citation does have you inside.
Okay, we got a Citation XLS Plus on arrival.
Geaux Flying, A397, go back, Boeing Tower, transition approved, Boeing altimeter 2977, remain on the east side of the extended center line now for departing 9 for traffic.
97 back, roger.
Another Kenmore Air citation. I'm sorry, not citation. Caravan. Citation's right here. So what do we got?
7878. Turn right, Alpha 3, and you can start your taxi to parking via Alpha and contact ground on your way.
All right.
Citation 2 Alpha Bravo, turn right at Alpha 3, cross runway 32 right, then contact ground point and enter.
Don't see anything going on with this Challenger.
Cessna 7 Whiskey Sierra, wind 290 at 8, runway 32 left, Alpha 7, clear for takeoff, lake departure is approved.
There you go.
Hey, 7 Whiskey Sierra is cleared to take off on left, lake departure.
Challenger 225 November, runway 32 left, Alpha 9er, line up and wait, traffic, 8 mile final, Boeing 737, traffic departing downfield.
There's our Challenger.
Tower, good afternoon, Boeing 953, ILS 32 left.
Boeing 953, Boeing Tower, continue inbound traffic holding positions, Challenger.
Continue Boeing 953, also request high speed if able.
Boeing 953, roger, have your request.
All right, so we got another Boeing coming in, Boeing 953, that is going to do a high-speed. Basically, they're going to touch down short, slam on the brakes, and then go forward again, and then slam on the brakes again.
7 Whiskey
In the meantime, we got
westbound,
this Challenger 604. It's going to be heading out of here.
7 Whiskey Sierra. November, wind 290 at 8, runway 32 left, Alpha 9er, clear for takeoff.
There they go.
Dodge 25 November, affirmative, runway 32 left, Alpha 9er, clear for takeoff. If you have 97, go back, traffic departing now, Challenger straight out, IFR, caution wind turbulence.
97 back, roger.
Boeing 953, runway 32 left, clear to land, high speed taxi approved.
32 left, high speed approved, Boeing 953.
97 back, clear near airspace to the north, with the 122.9.
Boeing 97, go back, route for exchange is approved, have a great flight.
All right, we got a Boeing. What do we have here? $737-9, or MAX 9 on final here.
Challenger 25 November, traffic North Shore of Italy Bay maneuvering to float plane at 1000, contact the outer departure, have a great flight.
For traffic, over to departure 25 November.